major European sixth-generation programs India was monitoring now faces uncertainty after France and Germany reportedly agreed to part ways. With global competitors accelerating next-generation combat aircraft development, questions are growing about whether India risks falling behind in the sixth-generation race. One of the two major sixth-generation fighter programs being watched by India may no longer be progressing as originally planned. Reports indicate France and Germany have agreed to put weighs on the future combat air system, raising uncertainty over the program's future and potentially narrowing India's international partnership options.
The aim of this common fighter jet for a new generation is first to launch common research and development, to be able to prepare it together and then use it in a common way in both our armies.
If you start with 10 projects, bigger or smaller, you will always have a few which fail. This is normal, I think. This is in your profession the same, or in others too. FCAS was one of the biggest, in the beginning bilateral, later trilateral projects in defense industry issues ever in Europe. So, and as I mentioned already this morning, the preconditions, the conditions of that and the reality has changed a lot since this project was launched in 2017. And demands has changed.
Earlier this year, former Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan confirmed that India was evaluating opportunities to associate with one of the major sixth-generation fighter consortia. If FCAS loses momentum, the US-Japan Italy Global Combat Air Program could emerge as the primary international partnership option available to India. Sixth-generation fighters are expected to go well beyond today's fifth-generation aircrafts. The focus is on deeper stealth, artificial intelligence, advanced networking, variable cycle engines, and the ability to operate alongside autonomous combat drones in highly connected battle environment. Major military powers are already investing heavily in sixth-generation air combat capabilities. The United States is advancing the F47 and FAXX programs, while China is reportedly testing next-generation fighter prototypes. Europe continues GCAP, highlighting how rapidly the global race is moving. The larger question for India is how it intends to enter the sixth-generation era, whether through an international partnership, an indigenous development program, or a combination of both. Future decisions will influence India's air power capabilities for decades and determine how closely it can keep pace with major military powers. On this issue, I'm joined by Group Captain V.N. Jha, former senior scientist, former joint director DRDO. So let me ask you, right now we're just looking at 4.5, which is Rafales. Both these countries have fifth generation aircraft. I understand the difference between a fourth generation and a fifth generation. Can you just tell us what is the difference between fifth generation and a sixth generation aircraft first, and then we come back to the real deal in terms of India's national security?
Good evening, Karthik. Look, to be very frank, half of the world who are in the design and development of advanced aircraft, combat aircraft, are not yet convinced what is the definition of sixth generation aircraft. Maybe in today's changing combat field, war scenarios, and the advancement of the technology with the ingress of whatever limited AI into it, people are thinking of having a war machine which can tackle multiple of threats and resolve your own problems. But there is a problem as well when it comes to India, and India joining the other partners in their sixth generation aircraft, which is not yet conceptualized. So where do we go from here? We have got a program which is still in the lab and on the trial fronts to some extent of AMCA, fifth generation aircraft. You must have also been come across, the advanced version of AMCA Mark II, which can escort the swarm of drones in front, or it can also have unmanned cockpit. So these things are already, we are working onto it. But then, to be frank, today if we try and join Germany or any other advanced country who as yet don't have any fifth generation aircraft, mind you, because fifth generation aircraft right now proven platform are only few, F-35, J-35, and to some extent S-57 that we can call it. So these are the three platforms that we know of. Now, if we join those countries in their sixth generation aircraft, the design development, the
Okay, so
procedure.
for a viewer, sir, I wish, I had so much of time and created those graphics. What is a fourth generation fighter? What is a fifth generation fighter? And what is a sixth generation fighter?
Well, to be in short, these are the generation when we call it. It is as per the avionics characteristic, the platforms of the hardware, engine, avionics, and the performance rated that we are calling it. So the fourth generation aircraft, it is a multi-role aircraft, ability to switch air-to-air combat, BVR, the fly-by-wire technology comes there in that. There is a more than one thrust to weight ratio that is usually have some amount of ECM, electronic combat countermeasures, look down, dipolar firepower control radars, like this, including GPS connectivity. These are the fourth generation aircraft. Fifth generation aircraft has got one big major jump, that the airframe is invisible to the routine standard radars. But there are still some low frequency, very advanced radar, and more are coming up in the pipeline, which may be able to look into this fifth generation aircraft on the signature on their scopes. So this is the main difference, along with the probability of intercept by the enemy, agility of the airframes, and C3, command, control, and communication. These are the three things which make it totally distinct from the fourth generation to fifth generation. And when we say that we have got Rafale or LCA, which is 4.5 generation, there we mean that we have got the airframe of the fourth generation, and avionics, which is a very major platform, is of the fifth generation. So we have combined these two so that in the coming days, whether we have LCA Mark II, LCA Mark 1A, or AMCA, there are same avionics platform with some amount of value additions onto this will go there as such. And that is where India is facing fairly confident that if we go for AMCA, the fifth generation aircraft, with the already concept of AMCA Mark II, which can have unmanned cockpit, which can have swarm handling capability, we are looking at sixth generation aircraft already. So that is where India is there.
So sixth generation is AI enabled, manned, unmanned?
Unmanned, and the total invisibility to the standard radar system. Right now, the fifth generation may have, ammunition system or the missile system or some amount of the other systems which may be detected by radar. So these are on theory, but remember last thing, Karthik. If you want to stand, you have to stand on your feet. And where is India's feet? Tomorrow, seventh generation aircraft will start, design and development in USA. So what do? We remain stuck with the sixth generation, which is not yet on the tarmac, or we switch on from there to the seventh generation. I think India is right.
Should we buy Su-57, sir?
Yes, it is a good platform, but it is not yet combat proven. That's the problem.
What are our options then, sir? एक तो है नहीं और दूसरा combat proven नहीं है.
देखिए, ये तो we have wounded ourselves. We have stepped onto the Kulhara rather than Kulhara striking us. That has happened in the past. I was in the LCA design development, some systems, and in 2012, 2013, all of ours, thousands of people, our shoulders were drooping, head were hanging low. After the UPA government had declined that we are not going for this aircraft. So this is what is our past. Now those days are gone. The new government, the new incumbent government which came, just ask one question for every person. Can these RFAs, we had about 1,500 of RFAs lined up, which had to be addressed into the aircraft for the fly. The government just asked one question. Can this be rectified? Can this be made?
I'm asking this, there's another conversation I would like to have with you, the sort of surveillance satellites which Pakistan has put up in last 6 to 7 months. I mean, it's 6 surveillance satellites. And the sort of tech revolution that is taking place around our strategic and military posture is definitely a big challenge. And when we know that there is a sort of a very close collaboration between Pakistan and China, I think these issues need to be discussed thoroughly, should be part of the public narrative, so that better funds, more time should be given to these issues, rather than at point of time in the burst of conflict, where everything gets drowned in rhetoric and the facts are completely done away with. At least that there are certain issues which must be part of public narrative, and I really thank you for coming back to News9 to discuss them again and again to the benefit of our viewers.
I'll just say, one sentence. A few days back, I was on a larger platform discussing how to look at the Pakistan coming up with their satellite and news of India going from the second strike to the first strike with some warhead being mounted onto some platform. So we were thinking on this, but these are the things to be addressed by the hierarchy much higher up than us. Because right now, everything, everything has got a link. When we are talking of the fourth generation, fifth generation, sixth generation aircraft, and we are talking of the missile readiness, combat readiness, this is all linked. But then there is a call to be taken by the government.
Absolutely. Absolutely, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. This is all I had on point 2. Let me straight away go to 1.3, because a startling revelation has emerged from UK. A former diplomat has told MPs that a Chinese link tracking device was discovered in the UK Prime Minister's official car, transmitting data through a cellular module. The claim has reignited concerns over foreign surveillance, supply chain vulnerabilities, and the extent of Chinese tech penetration into the critical government systems. The alleged device was reportedly found inside a sealed vehicle component supplied through manufacturing chain. Experts warn that the modern vehicles increasingly rely on connected electronic modules, creating new vulnerabilities. The incident raises a critical question. Can trusted government vehicles become intelligence collection platform without drivers even knowing? One of the biggest mysteries remain unresolved. The discovery dates back to 2022, a year in which UK saw 3 different prime ministers, Boris Johnson, Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak. While the source claims a senior government figure confirmed whose vehicle was involved, authorities have not publicly identified the individual or released further details. Beyond one vehicle, the controversy has widened into a debate over China's role in global technology, supply chains. Security experts argue that the cellular modules are embedded in everything from cars and aircraft to smart home devices. China has strongly denied the allegations, calling them rumors, but the episode is likely to intensify a call for tighter scrutiny of foreign-made technology in sensitive government system. Let me go across to Yashovardhan Azad, former Special Director IB.